The studio lights of the View gleamed brightly as the audience settled into their seats, buzzing with anticipation for what promised to be a lively segment. Joy Behar, ever the sharp-tongued co-host, adjusted her microphone with a mischievous grin, her red hair catching the glow like a beacon of unfiltered opinion. Across from her sat Nicolas Cage, the enigmatic actor whose career had spanned wild blockbusters and introspective indies. His eyes intense behind a pair of aviator shades, he refused to remove despite the indoor setting. The other hosts, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, and Alyssa Farah Griffin, exchanged knowing glances, sensing the powder keg about to ignite. As the theme music faded, Joy leaned forward, her voice dripping with that signature New York sarcasm. "Nicholas, darling, we've all seen your films, from Face/Off to National Treasure. But let's be real. Some say you've gone a bit eccentric lately. What's the deal with those bees? Are you starting a hive in your basement or just auditioning for the next Batman villain?" The audience chuckled nervously, but Cage's jaw tightened, his fingers drumming on the armrest like a Morse code of restrained fury. He removed his shades slowly, revealing eyes that burned with the fire of 1,000 rejected scripts. "Joy, with all due respect, and I mean none, your question assumes I'm some kind of sideshow freak. I've poured my soul into every role, risked everything for art, while you sit here peddling hot takes like they're gospel. Bees? They're pollinators, symbols of life's fragile chaos, not props for your lazy punchlines." The room fell silent, the laughter dying like a snuffed candle. Whoopi tried to interject with her booming laugh. "Whoa, Nick, she's just keeping it light." But Cage waved her off, his voice rising like a crescendo in one of his action flicks. Resuming after the break, the set felt charged, like the aftermath of a storm where the sky hangs heavy with unshed rain. Nicolas Cage had returned to his seat, but his posture screamed defiance, arms crossed, legs splayed. A man ready for war rather than witty banter. Joy Behar, composed as ever, flashed her trademark smile to the camera, but the edges were sharper, honed by the earlier skirmish. "Welcome back, folks," she announced, her tone laced with feigned sweetness. "We're here with the one and only Nicolas Cage, who's just reminded us why he's Hollywood's most unpredictable icon. Nick, before we dive deeper, I have to say your intensity? It's what makes you great. But come on, that face-melting scene in Ghost Rider? Genius or just you channeling a bad acid trip?" The audience tittered, but Cage's response was a low growl, his eyes locking onto hers like laser sights. "Acid trip? Joy, that's the kind of reductive drivel that keeps real cinema buried under superhero slop. I embodied that role, pain, redemption, the inferno of the human spirit, while critics like you dismiss it as camp. Have you ever stared into the abyss of your own regrets? No? Then spare me the armchair psychology." Whoopi's attempt at mediation fell flat again. She raised her hands in surrender, chuckling, "Y'all are serving drama hotter than my gumbo." But the heat was rising, unchecked. Joy pressed on, undeterred, her voice a velvet whip. "Regrets? I've got a few, like interviewing divas who think they're above scrutiny. But seriously, Nick, your filmography's a roller coaster. Brilliant highs like Adaptation, lows like, well, Willy's Wonderland. Is it passion or just paying the bills?" Cage slammed his palm on the table, the sound echoing like a gunshot, startling even the unflappable crew. "Lows? Every film is a battle scar. Joy, Willy's was pure, unadulterated escapism in a world choking on conformity. The fallout from the on-air eruption lingered like smoke after a fireworks show, but in the world of live TV, the show must go on, and so it did, with the next guest queued up, oblivious to the electric undercurrent. Yet, whispers among the crew painted a vivid picture. Cage had stormed off set post-commercial, only to return at Whoopi's personal plea, his apology a gruff mutter about heat of the moment. Joy, meanwhile, had texted her producer, "That was electric. Book him again." As the cameras rolled for the final push, the topic shifted ostensibly to Cage's philanthropy, his quiet work with animal rescues and environmental causes, but the subtext screamed unresolved tension. Sunny Hostin, seizing the reins, beamed, "Nick, let's talk bees again. Not the eccentric kind, but your apiary advocacy. How's that changing the game for pollinators? Cage softened fractionally, his voice a gravelly rumble. Sonny, it's simple. Without bees, no food chain, know us. I've got hives on my property, not for show, but survival. Hollywood talks green. I live it. The audience cooed approvingly, a brief oasis of accord. But Joy, scenting blood anew, couldn't resist. Survival? Like how you survived that string of direct-to-video flicks. Props. Nick. Diversity in your portfolio is admirable. Cage's fork in the road. Laugh it off or lunge. He chose the latter, his tone venomous. Admirable? That's code for pity the has-been. Joy. Those films? Experiments in resilience. Risks you wouldn't take from your cozy couch. The studio tensed anew, Sarah Haynes interjecting hastily. Let's pivot to Mandy. That film's a cult gem. The sound design alone. But Cage steamrolled, his passion igniting like dry tinder. Mandy? That was my howl at the moon. A psychedelic elegy for lost love. Panos, Cosmatos, and I bled for that vision, while pundits like you nitpick from afar. Joy's retort was swift, surgical. Howl? More like a scream into the void. Hours after the taping, as the sun dipped low over Manhattan, the digital storm raged unabated. Clips dissected on TikTok, threads unraveling on Reddit, pundits on CNN parsing the Cage Behar brouhaha like a geopolitical summit. Back in the studio's green room, now emptied of guests but heavy with echo, Joy Behar nursed a chamomile tea, her laughter lines deepening as she scrolled reactions. Kids got fire, she admitted to Whoopi, who nodded sagely. And you lit the match, sister. Across town, Nicolas Cage retreated to his hotel suite, aviators back on, a script unrolled on the desk like a battle plan. His phone vibrated incessantly, agents urging damage control, fans hailing him as truth-teller. He fired off a tweet. Passion isn't eccentricity, it's pulse. Grateful for the spar at Joy Behar. Round 2. The reply came swift. A winking emoji from Joy, escalating the saga into social theater. By morning, headlines screamed, Cage erupts. The View's wildest moment since Baldwin. Talk shows buzzed, late-night hosts mined gold. Colbert mimicking Cage's table slam with flair, Kimmel quipping. Nick's face said more than his lines ever did. But deeper dives emerged. Variety lauding the authenticity, a raw counterpoint to scripted politeness. The Guardian pondering if such clashes humanize or humiliate celebs. Fans rallied, Cage's subreddit swelled with defenses of his gonzo genius, while Joy's loyalists praised her fearless feminism. Crossovers bloomed, joint interviews proposed, a hypothetical buddy comedy scripted in jest. Yet the core lingered, that electric hour where two icons stripped bare. Cage, in a follow-up podcast, reflected, Joy pushed me to the edge. That's where truth lives. No regrets. Joy, on her radio spot, echoed, he's a pistol. I loaded the chamber. TV needs more of that spark. The ripple extended, viewership for The View spiked 40%. Cage's back catalog trended on streaming. Even his B nonprofit saw donations surge. Months later, the dust settled into legend, but the embers glowed in unexpected ways. A documentary pitched on the day Cage lost it. Scripts circulating for a metafilm starring the duo as feuding talk show titans. Nicolas Cage, ever the chameleon, channeled the fracas into his next role. A biopic of a fiery orator, his Behar-inspired monologues earning Oscar whispers at test screenings. Joy Behar, meanwhile, parlayed the moment into a best-selling memoir addendum. Clashing with Kings, My Tango with Tinseltown, chapters dripping with anecdotes of that fateful table thump. Their paths crossed again at a glitzy gala. Air kisses exchanged amid flashing bulbs, reporters clamoring for the scoop. Water under the bridge, Cage quipped, arm around Joy's shoulder. Nah, gasoline, and we torched it good, she fired back, drawing laughs from A-listers. The night devolved into toasts, to unscripted sparks, to women who wield words like weapons, to men who wear hearts on sleeves. Backstage, they shared a quiet corner, trading war stories. Cage on director's whims, Joy on network censors. You called me out, he admitted. Made me defend what I love. And you reminded me why I fight, she replied, clinking glasses. From there, collaborations bloomed. A guest spot for Cage on Joy's podcast, Dissecting Fame's Follies. Her cameo in his indie flick, a sassy interviewer skewering his character. Ratings soared. Critics raved. Behar steals scenes with surgical satire. Social spheres merged. Cage's eccentric feed now peppered with Joy's quips. Her timeline buzzing with his Film Rex fans' fused fandoms. Conventions hosted clash panels. Cosplayers donning Cage's shades and Behar's scarves. Broader waves crashed. Talk of toxic masculinity dismantled in the fray. Ageism challenged by their vigor. Whoopi narrated a special. That day, TV got realer than real. Sunny penned op-eds on intersectional iconoclasm. Sarah's wellness retreats themed, erupting authentically.